Showtime. Here we go. Guess I better plug in here. Today is Tuesday. Felipe Vasquez, how are you, my friend? Erica, much more than a friend. And hello, South Florida. Welcome to the live Tuesday edition of the Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show all about the topic of real estate. My name is Eric Willner, and we are here live Monday through Friday. We are here, as they say, 5 by 5 by 5, which is 5 days a week, 5 p.m. We're here live, and we're coming to you 5 different avenues. Avenue number 1, FM on the FM dial, 95.3, 96.9 on the AM dial, also part of the Money Talk Radio Network. If you check out Money Talk Radio, can Google it, search it, Money Talk Radio, WWNN. So we're on the AM dial 1470. We're on the apps, all of the apps, the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the radio.com app. Even WWNN has their very own app. So any way you want to take us with you, take us on the go, just tune in through one of the apps. Fourth different way is to go onto our website. One of the best ways to keep in touch with all of our stuff, go to automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. And then click at the top of the page there where it says the Real Estate Show. There'll be a drop down. If you're there live at 5, we'll be there with you. If you miss our show and can't listen to it live, you can listen to it on demand. Go anytime, and you can listen to all of our shows that'll be dropping down there in chronological order going backwards. And you can listen to them on demand. In fact, you can even download them in the podcast form that we have there as well. All of the recordings are in the notes. And with each day, there should be some notes about what the radio show was about that day. So you can read it, hear it, and then the fifth and final way, you can watch it on our Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/ all one word, The Real Estate Show. No spaces, no hyphens. Just type in The Real Estate Show if you already have a Facebook page, and you can catch us there. So right there on Facebook, so I can say hi to Erica, I can say hi to Cindy, I can say hi to Felipe, who was just out there with us on our Survivalist Project trip, which of course, this week, one of the goodies from that trip, this week we were out in Idaho touring a property, very interesting investment. I guess I had to just take a sip since I had to show everybody my handy dandy little mug. For those of you that can see over there, you can see my backpack. You can see my Survivalist thermos here with the clip. So we talked yesterday on our show a little bit about the whole concept of the survivalists out there. And they are very serious and should be taken seriously group of folks that have a plan B in the event of major catastrophe, natural disaster, terrorist attack, political unrest, you name it. They've got what's called a go now plan, and the more serious of them will have it rehearsed even, so that on the cue, sort of like a fire drill, but a whole lot more complex. And then they know how to if they get split up, how and where to communicate with each other, where to meet up, and those sort of things. So there is a real estate play in this whole conversation as well. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that project, which is a project in an undisclosed location, except for those real estate investors that own a piece of it, that when it's time for that go now, they will then meet back up in this very location, which has its own property fenced in to keep the uninvited folks out and the invited investor partners protected inside. It has everything from an armory to protect themselves, cattle, farms to become self-sufficient, clean running water, solar power. Like I said, it's a pretty well thought out thing. And so there's also a real estate play involved in this whole thing, which I'll save for another day. What I wanted to do, and I kind of use that as our launch pad, because every Monday when we start our week off, I like to start off with a theme, sort of a mission. In this case here, it's a survival mission here for our real estate investors. And I was talking a bit about what to do to not only survive, but today I wanted to talk about to thrive. Now, for regular listeners of the Real Estate Show, you know that on Mondays we talk about the agenda, the mission, so to speak, for that week. We talk about the agenda, what we're going to talk about for the rest of the week. So it's an important show to catch. If you missed it again, go to our website at automaticlandlord.com, and then you can listen to that show and know what the whole week is going to be about. But I'll give you just sort of an overview. Always on Tuesdays, we go from the concept and the overall mission. We go to the tools, tips, and techniques. What are you supposed to do with the information that we talk about? And today I'm going to talk about 10 different ways to not only survive, but to thrive in the real estate market. If you missed the opportunity, and many people did, either you were outbid, out negotiated, or just out to lunch during 2020, sitting at home, hunkering down, sheltering in place, staying socially distanced, whatever you want to call it. But many people chose to use 2020 to be inactive. And I'm going to tell you that 2021, as far as the real estate markets, we're expecting more of the same. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines and don't take some proactive action, if you don't do some of the things that we're going to recommend throughout this week, then you can expect the same result that you got last year. The old definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. And I don't think it could ever be more true in the environment that we're in. Now, in addition to that, I talked a little bit about something that we're doing, talking about the survivalist real estate agents. You know that we're always looking to network and to work with more agents. So as sort of our survive and thrive, we're having an event on May 25th from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. So 4 hours. It is a free event, but it is space limited and it is by invitation only. But because you are listeners of the Real Estate Show, you are automatically invited. Now, it is primarily geared towards the real estate agent, which we're trying to create a network, no matter what company you're in, because usually one company only lets their company come. And I insisted that if we're going to do this, it's going to be open to any realtor from any company, etc. And there's not going to be a push to, there's no conversion going on here. There is nothing but going to be information, a lot of information from our selected lenders. And there's going to be 2 different lenders there, maybe a possible third one. There's going to be information about how to deal with the coming wave of REOs. We're going to talk about how we have a certification process. So if you're an agent out there and you want to spend some 4 hours networking with other agents and with us here at the Real Estate Show, then text the word agent to 561-861-2366. Remember, this is a free event, but it is an invitation-only event. 561-861-2366. And you might as well, if you're a regular listener or want to become a regular listener here of the Real Estate Show, you might as well plug that number. That is our special dedicated text line for the Real Estate Show. So you can text the specific words and certain automated, remember, We're talking here to the automatic landlord. So when you text something, you're going to get back information. You're going to get invitations, depending on the day, depending on the word. I'm going to send you that which I promised on the radio show. So for those of you who are agents, text the word agent to that number. For those of you that are investors and would like to come and learn sort of the inside track that we're going to teach to real estate agents, then text the word investor. And I will give you first priority will go to the agents, but I will be having and separating a certain number of our regular investors who want to come. So if you want to come, it is going to be a live in-person event, not far from where this studio is. And so you'll be able to come. We'll be wearing masks still if for these kind of events. We'll do everything that's socially intelligent, but not socially paranoid. Anyway, we are so that is the May the 25th. Text agent if you're an agent, text investor if you're an investor to 561-861-2366. You can do that right now. Won't interrupt me, won't disturb me. 561-861-2366. Now, other thing that I want to talk about networking. You know, we have our regular real estate show listeners business connect. So you don't have to be an agent, you don't have to be an investor, you can just be a regular fan listener of the real estate show. Every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. We have a small group to mastermind, talk about what's going on in the marketplace, what's working here locally and so forth, and what's working across the country. And so this is a Zoom event. It is a live but attended by Zoom. You're all welcome to come. And all you have to do is text the word Radio Eric, one word, and then I will send you the Zoom link and so forth for you to attend that event there. That's tomorrow night, and I'll probably talk more about it again tomorrow during our show, since it will be a little bit after our show. So let's jump into a couple of quick things. You know, from vacations to barbecues to backyard fun, it's very easy to get distracted from your career, particularly as a real estate agent or a real estate investor, especially when you have spent, you know, the better part of the last year in a very restricted state of contact. So contacting sellers, going to having open houses, and all of that has been very, very difficult. So let's talk about how to ignite this year so that if you're less than happy about what happened last year, that you're going to ignite this year and make this, in my opinion, I think it's going to be the best year ever. We've been talking about a lot of our initiatives that we've done with lenders. We've talked about the down payment assistance programs that we have. And there's another one coming out. So if you're interested in more down payment assistance for the most updated version of our report, text the word DPA to 561-861-2366. If you're interested in some of the lending, then you can text the word, I think it's lender. Let me see. No, loan. The word loan, if you want to find out. So remember my statement here, and you won't hear this anywhere else. I don't care whether you don't have a down payment, whether you don't have good credit, whatever the situation is. If you are what people would consider to be coachable and cooperative, I'll show you the way to own your home. That's our mission. Our mission, not just this week, but every single week, 52 weeks out of the year, is to help more Americans, to educate, enable, and empower more Americans to have a piece of the American dream, which is, of course, real estate. So I'm going to talk about my 10 ways when we come back from this quick commercial break. We're going to go dive right into these 10. We're going to go fast. We're going to go hard. If you don't have a pencil and paper right now, go grab one during this break. And we're going to be right back right after these words. We got a full house here. How you doing, Felipe? I hope you had a good trip travels back from our little survivalist camp there. Missed you there, Cindy. So that was kind of cool. Now, why do I? Let's see. Hello. Yes. I'm sorry.
Looking for Eric Willner?
Yeah, this is Eric. I'm on the show.
Yeah, let's go back on the phone. Can you do that?
Is there a problem with the?
The audio.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, if you have to, you have to.
Yeah, I have.
Okay. So I just stay right here.
Yep. I get you on hold. Back to today's show.
Speaking about survivalist here, this is how this goes. Anyway, so welcome back for those of you just joining us here on the Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner. I am your host. I have been your host for the last 22 plus years, not only surviving but thriving here on the Real Estate Show and helping other investors like you to figure their way out in all sorts of markets, whether it was up market, a down market, the Great Recession of 2008, the Great Pandemic of 2019, 20, and so forth. The object of the game is is to have agility, to have flexibility and adaptability in any marketplace. And so here's the thing, you can sugarcoat this any way you want. And there are a lot of real estate educators and gurus, or so-called, what I call the textbook gurus, or the in and out of town guys that come in, sell a whole bunch of stuff, and then disappear into the next town as they take their circus on the road. But there's not a lot of great sources of good real estate assistance coaching, especially not in the local markets. But that's what exists, particularly in our favorite markets, which are in Florida, in Texas, in Pennsylvania. We did, like I said, we just came back on a trip in one of the states up north in the Northwest for a very interesting project. And here's the thing. If you do want to thrive in this coming year, then expect some longer hours. What I'm seeing, even though we have the luxury of working from home, the hours are longer. The people are starting earlier, they're working later, they're more flexible. And so being able to work, I would say, outside of the normal 9 to 5 boundaries, particularly as a real estate investor or a real estate agent, um, you're going to have days where you're working from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Many times, the people who are looking to buy property, they're in that 9 to 5. So they're not available to discuss what might be an extra investment property or what might be their home search. It happens after hours, which is good now as we daylight savings time. We have longer daylight hours after 5. It happens on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. So not all prospective buyers have the flexibility of doing any of that stuff between 9 to 5 during a weekday. So if you really want to make things happen in 2021, I suggest that you accept the fact that 9 to 5 is really not so much a thing. I even see this with 9 to 5 people who are working remotely, are working harder, more, producing more, and outside of their standard hours, since they're not required to commute. So they get the commute time back, and they sort of give it back in a way by working the extra hours. So don't be afraid. If you're worried about long hours or flexible hours, then this may not be for you. Second thing, market, market, market. If I have one obstacle or barrier very often, is the understanding that this is all about marketing. We're more in marketing with a focus in real estate than a real estate with a little bit of focus in marketing. If that's what you do, it's going to be a tough market, especially now where we have a shortage of supply. There's a lot of demand competing for less supply, and therefore being top of mind awareness is critical. And there's a big difference between selling and marketing. You see, the real estate agents that were good at selling but didn't market right now are starving, literally, because they don't have any inventory. Marketing is attracting, selling is going out after. So it's sort of a difference between a push and a pull in the activity. So market, market, market. Gone are the days of simply plopping a for sale by owner. We used to tease the agents out there that only practice the three P's of real estate. And those agents are going to be starting to disappear by the wayside. Real estate has become much more competitive and much more professional, especially since the entry since 2008 of institutional buyers. So what are the three P's Eric was talking about? Well, they go and put a sign in the yard, they put the property in the MLS, and then they go home and pray somebody is going to see one of those two things to buy the property. And today, it's social media. If you're not in it, you can fight it, you can complain it, you can criticize it all you want, but it is here to stay, and it is one of the main ways that people find out and get information is all online. They find the information online and then go see it. So market, market, market. While the sign in the yard is part of the marketing, and it does still work, open houses definitely still work. But if you're not doing all of these, like I said, market, market, market. Uh, third tip I'm going to say is very important. I can't tell you how many times I'm asked to help, whether it be a real estate agent or whether I'm helping an investor. And I say, so what are your goals? And there's this long pause of silence, as if like, I've never really thought about that. I thought the goal was to buy real estate or sell real estate. And I go, yes. How much? Where? When? What kind? The more specific we talk about SMART goals. Some of you may know what that acronym stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time sensitive, or time specific. All of those features have to exist if you're to have a goal that's workable and will have good results. Then we talk about going into the office. And now here's the interesting part of this tip, is that the office is not necessarily a physical office anymore. It's not an office down at the corner at your local real estate company or wherever you do your normal business. Today, the office is where the deal is. Today, the office could be at the local Starbucks, Panera, could be at an executive suites, it could be at a daily rented or a public place, and very often it is at the property. But here's the thing. You got to get up, you got to go to work, and when you go to work, you get to work when you get there. It used to be, and get used to working anywhere and everywhere nowadays. Very often your phone or your tablet may be your entire office. And certainly as the automatic landlord, we have now sort of looked at every single aspect. And there's no reason why you can't actually operate from a laptop, a tablet, or even just a phone. And that's when you've got your business under control. We talked about the survivalists here, to have a plan B, a go now plan. You got to have a backup plan. Even if you hit the ground running in real estate, it doesn't always happen right away. Oftentimes, even if you were lucky enough to find a deal or a buyer in day one, things don't close for 30 to 45 days. How are you going to live and survive during those 45 days? And especially if it doesn't happen on your first day, and very seldom it does, then you've got to have, how are you going to get from point A, which is today, to a closed transaction, a closed rental property, or whatever the case may be. You've got to have sort of, what's that parallel plan B? Is it reserves in the bank? Is it another source of income? Or this is a great conversation that oftentimes folks who call us and who want to have an appointment. By the way, if you want a confidential, complimentary, no cost, no obligation conversation. Then go to the website at automaticlandlord.com and you can set an appointment right then and there. Automaticlandlord.com. You'll see book an appointment there. It's also on our Facebook page, The Real Estate Show. You can book an appointment there, or you can always contact us on our website. Remember, Radio Eric, if you're a listener, and I always like to have a conversation with our listeners and find out what's going on. So find a support system. Speaking about people who call us, we're used a lot as a sounding board, as a second set of eyes on property, as a second set of eyes on the numbers. Do the numbers make sense? Find a support system when you pursue real estate. You should choose to do so with someone who's been there, done that, got the t-shirt, maybe a scar or two. Better that they got it and they can share it with you than for you to reinvent the wheel all over again. Why do that? So find a support system. Again, remember, we gave out our text line. If you're interested as an agent, 561-861-2366. Text the word agent. That's for an invitation to our May 25th event. Investor, type the word investor to the same number, 561-861-2366, if you would like to come to our investor event as well. So build a network. We've talked about that before, and when we were talking about building a business, building a network is critical. You ought to have, several different types of lenders. We're going to talk about that on our Thursday show coming up this week, about having a survivalist creative financial toolkit. And there's different types of loans and lenders that you're going to want to have. By the way, definitely listen to our show on Thursday. If you are a lender, we're always looking for more private lenders that have the ability to lend if you're looking for great returns secured by real estate. So it's kind of like being in real estate without having any of the management. If you're looking to place money as a private lender, guaranteed by equity, if the borrower doesn't pay, you get yourself some pretty cheap real estate, because you never lend 100% against the equity, and something we're going to talk about more on our Thursday show. So what was my next one? Support system, build a network. It was number 7. Become a local expert. If you're going to really be serious about real estate, if you're really going to want to thrive and not just survive in real estate, you got to know your marketplace. Know your marketplace, and that is critical. And finally, keep learning. And number 10, stay positive, invaluable. Anyway, that's all the time that I've got here on today's show. We'll be back again tomorrow, same place, same time. Until then, this is your host, Eric Willner, signing off. Drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye. All right. Hey, Brian. It was great seeing you there. If you have any questions about today's program,